see strategies and synergies that no other team brings to the table, and that's what really fascinates me about them.
Now we're going into this first map. It's going to be lockbox for Sacrifice. This is finals day. And there's all to play for right here. North America versus North America. Modus Operandi versus Team Liquid. I mean, look, Team Liquid, they're the favorites going into this. But MO, they've been looking really strong in the qualifiers. Will they be able to carry it on into finals and pull off the upset and take out Team Liquid? And wow.
Double pummel.
I mean, we're going to be seeing that a lot, I think. But this is the Soul Spawn, 20 seconds in, of course. And I mean, like, to really reflect what gets said so many times, this first drop-off is unbelievably important, but here comes the clutch. DreamHack, they are able to take him out, which does mean that in some ways the hard work was done for them. Yenem with the drop-off. And now they have a very early lead.
And the unfortunate thing was the great initial play by Liquid was done about 3 or 4 seconds before the spawn, which meant it allowed MO to get back onto it.
Oh no!
And pressure that clutch. And they've also stolen the quad away. Anarchy is going down, but it should be reclaimed. Picked up by Clamp, he's dead now. And finally Waz cleans up with the quad.
And of course, seeing as he's super healthy and he's got that default shotgun, it's going to be kind of hard to 1v1 him here. That ridiculous Anarchy movement, as always. And I mean, he just needs to pretty much look in your general direction. From that distance, yes, he went down, but that was 80 damage. You know, easily the rest of his team will pick that one back up. But I have to point out, DreamHack, unfortunately, wasn't able to get his air dash towards the quad damage. He was actually there first, but because he hit the platform and fell down, his team wasn't really able to collect.
Yenem coming in, and Waz is one of those players that isn't one of the star-studded names when you've got 3 other superstars in your team, but is the guy that generally stands out as the person that makes stuff happen for Liquid. So it's definitely keen to keep an eye on him.
And Slash is absolutely going to be a champion that can really make those big plays, can really make those big decisions to go in with the rest of the team or make a push yourself. And, you know, Yenem, we've been seeing him constantly in those qualifiers, and Slash is predominantly the only champion, really, he's been selecting. And, oh, Rafa, unfortunately, doesn't get the toss. Actually bounces it back towards the direction of Modus. So that was a pretty fortunate drop for them.
And finally, it looks like Wins should be able to finally cap this for Liquid. Just a cheeky punch onto the Slash. And I think the key for MO here is just to try and keep this chaos going. As long as you can never let Liquid settle and, again, consolidate that position with the clutch and stacking up and everything around that, then they have an opportunity. But as soon as Liquid can get any type of advantage and defensive position set up, that's what it's going to become.
Yeah, you can talk about the strength of team play, but if you've got all 4 members of a team like Liquid, where all 4 of them are on the point, they've all got their abilities ready, they're all nice and healthy, that is pretty much going to be nightmare scenario. But as you said, right, causing disruptions pretty much all the time, not allowing them to get comfortable. Kind of looks like they did it, but no, Yenem tried to pop the, he tried to toss the Soul into the plasma trail to get a bit of speed, but took a little bit of extra time. And in Sacrifice, to be honest, a couple of seconds wasted can bite you later on.
It was an excellent plasma trail, realizing he was being chased by Clutch +1. Popping it on that bridge, meaning they had nowhere to go, killing everyone in his wake. And a very clean battlesuit protection picked up by MO with Liquid nowhere in sight. And it's, in the start of this game, Liquid are looking a little bit rusty on their timings, at least.
It kind of looks like Modus, on top of that, like Modus have been super coordinated as well. Like, I'm very impressed to see what they've done so far. And if you're going to get these moments where people look a little bit rusty, or maybe they're not 100% on form, I suppose at the start of a round, this is pretty much the highest case where that's going to happen. But look at how many members of MO are really protecting Clamp, and with 80 health and protection, he probably wasn't going to go down anyway, but
no,
there was no way they were getting that Soul.
And all of that was born out of Liquid not making a presence on that power-up, meaning Clamp, as you said, stacked to the gills, taking the protection away and stealing the Soul back.
And DreamHack's really been able to put Clutch to good use, where he's actually able to take the Soul while the shield is active. But Griffin coming around the corner, and he gets a double, actually, DreamHack and Rafa. That's quite a nice 2-piece combo to take down.
You talk about the organization of MO, and that was a perfect example, as they realized Liquid had got into the base, and instead of pressuring the Soul, they stood on the outskirts and blocked off throw and contained them into their own base. So it's an excellent example of how switched on MO are for this semi-final.
I liked that focus too between Yenem and Clamp, where DreamHack pretty much went in to do what he normally does, which is go in and disrupt. He'd just used the shield, so I don't believe it was ready at the time. Yeah, he's still down. And they just go in, they coordinate 2 direct rockets, and within the blink of an eye, that Clutch is eliminated.
It really is. And this time we're probably going to see now MO sticking back, trying to defend Liquid side of the map as they realize their base has been forfeit, but the problem is Clutch has got it and Liquid looks settled. This should be a relatively clean cap.
Oh, Yenem with the nails, keeping him at bay. Hang on, he was super healthy a second ago, but he saw to that.
15 seconds until quad. should mean that Liquid get it settled, and there is going to be a relatively big fight for this next power-up.
Yeah, and of course, there's not much activity going on. Clamp was uncontested, taking that soul. I think the rest of them really go, right, guys, let's try and pile in and take this power-up instead. And as it goes to spawn, it's going to be who comes off better in this fight. Looks like it's going to be Sane that currently has the quad damage in hand, and he's taking out Rafa. As Naniki, though, even with quad, you can be vulnerable, but I feel like he's got a decent stack, and to be honest, minimal damage taken. That was best case scenario for Sane.
Yeah, Liquid were there. They just, I'm not sure if the timing was off because no one was really competing. They tried to hit a rail on the out as Anarchy escaped, but that's a very difficult ask. And as you say, getting out full, now just really securing that base defense, and with 70% on the board, Liquid face a difficult task. They need that Clutch's shield to be up.
Absolutely. Wynn's going in, doing what he can, of course, with DreamHack, and that Clutch side by side is going to be relatively useful, but Waz, he's got to be super careful here. Obviously, running the soul, 79 HP is not the largest amount in sacrifice. Looks like he was able to sort of zip around, saying, you know, Uzig, Izag kind of situation.
They do manage to get it back, but as you can see, MO are there in force. They're playing very, very well, keeping as a unit.
Saying he's got to make a decision here. He's got to be super careful. He understands that Liquid, they're pretty much out in full force, everyone towards the middle, and there was no way Same was going to be able to go down there. I think that's going to be one of the interesting things about Lockbox, right? In that there are so many ways you can navigate from point A to point B, from one obelisk to the other. You have to really make that on-the-spot decision. The comms have to be there. You've got to communicate with the team. Where is the other team sitting, and where can I kind of slip by undetected?
I think MO are doing what we said at the start particularly well. Is it looks like they're hunting down that Clutch because he's been entirely ineffective on this map so far, and we haven't seen one single good use of his shield ability, meaning they are containing him. And that's working drastically in their favor as they still lead on this map, although Liquid now seem to have a good defense. And 15 seconds to the next protection. That's the biggest point of this map right now.
Same's doing everything he can to control the high ground, making sure it's going to be as difficult as possible for anyone else to try and go in. Yenem, though, comfortably right now sitting on the protection. Moments away from spawning. Waz, a bit of a rocket jump, maybe not taking out Rise took damage.
He's going to get it completely cleanly, and it does seem to me that MO are putting significant emphasis over and above everything else on getting these power-ups, and it is working as they clear it out, get this clean protection, and get the soul.
It almost seems like Liquid made the call to go, they all piled into the soul instead of fighting for the power-up, so Sane obviously being able to take it uncontested. And it really was in many ways a free power-up for them. But unfortunately, they chose to get the soul, but they weren't able to do anything with it.
Nice, really, really nice. The double use of the Plasma Trout and the Berserk, meaning that shield was relatively ineffective. And as you said, I think maybe, just maybe, MO have a good tactic against that.
This is showing good preparation. You know, they've known who they're going up against. They know that the challenges they're likely to face. I mean, guys, we're on Lockbox. We all know that Clutch is coming. We need to have an answer for this. And of course, he's just one piece of the puzzle. Team Liquid being a super good, you know, a four-man unit. So he's just one person you have to deal with. However, you said earlier, though, the Clutch has seemed a little bit ineffective, and that's not to knock DreamHack as such. I just feel like it's MO going, look, Clutch has got some distinct weaknesses. If we're able to enforce it, let's try and get the job done there.
It just seems to me that MO are playing out of their minds right now, but Liquid is still in it. That is the key. They've got virtually none of the power-ups. They've been playing relatively disorganized. The Clutch hasn't had a say in this match, and they're still in it. So some things are going right for Liquid as DreamHack just makes himself into a brick wall using his body to block the hallway, which is pretty easy when you're that big.
I really love the on-the-spot decisions there, you know, for DreamHack, where he's got 14 HP left and he's got the soul in hand. You know, a lot of players, maybe they've got the soul, they'll try and run back with it. Maybe they'll try and use his air dash. DreamHack goes, I'm better to fight here and throw the soul as far away from their obelisk as possible and just get some damage on the board. You know, my job here is not to run the soul, it's to get some frags.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the experience showing from DreamHack there in that decision-making in the clutch moments. Sane he's alone here though, so the key for him is not to die, is just to try and hit some damage and wait for his team to give the call to attack.
Sane really needed that rail. He really needed that rail to connect. However, MO, they're going to get the squad damage, and this could be the moment. You know, it's now going to be almost completely even. If they're able to get a good push here as a group, you've got Clamp, who has a really chunky saw-like stack with that quad damage. He's just collected a super shotgun, and he might not even need it. The default SMG from this range is going to be absolutely lethal. But here comes DreamHack with the shield, being able to completely absorb all ounce of the quad. Clamp somehow still alive. He takes out 3. He's going for a 4th, but he himself gets deleted.
But that was absolutely sensational play. Just going down the last minute, but staying on the outskirts, as you said, with that machine gun doing an immense amount of damage. But Liquid might have just done enough to win this first round somehow. But as MO piling in.
They have no choice. They have to. This is that classic ending to a sacrifice where they go, guys, we haven't got time. We have to put as many bodies in as possible. But the soul currently been taken away. So I feel like that scramble, that pile-in situation has been temporarily beneficial. But with 1% left, they just need a couple more frags. And it looks like that might be it. Sane is in there himself, but Waz with the final frag. And that's going to be the first round. Hard fought, but Liquid, impressively able to claw that one back. And there we go. They've got the first round.
I think Liquid will be sighing a huge sigh of relief right now because that was messy, really, really messy. They didn't get a single power-up. MO were coordinated, continuously just bugging Liquid, making sure that clutch was relatively ineffective. But once again, they managed to just about claw it back, and we should see some signs of life to Liquid going into the second round.
After that round, that's the kind of moment you give your body a bit of a shake and you go, oh, come on, boys. Yeah. All right, that's done. We're going into round number 2. So we'll see what happens here. But of course, there's this very important start. Slash being on both compositions, but I love that answer. Griffin going, look, there's going to be a clutch here. Dahang's going to sit on the point. He's going to try and seize it. Barely survives himself. However, I feel like clutch getting taken out when the soul appears, super important.
Yeah, it's using that Berserk almost exclusively for when Dahang pops his shield as a semi-counter, if you will.
I'll say, just before we get too much into this round, of which quad damage spawns, Same, a little bit quicker on the mark for Dahang, so he should be able to get that frag on Dahang. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's one thing, right? You're going to be getting hit by shotguns all the time, and it's all about the spread. Clutch is going to be pretty vulnerable to that spread.
They do trade obelisks this time round, with Liquid getting what would be their preferred one.
Oh.
Deleted.
I mean, yeah, you could say that again. Trying to get maybe one more.
Nice.
I love that. I actually really like that decision. Look, my quad's going to run out, but if I can just get that little circle jump down there and then that flick rail on Dahang and delete him, even if we trade it out, no clutch for a few seconds is going to be quite a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and you can see the emphasis they're putting on just making sure that clutch cannot have a position to launch the attack, meaning Liquid's focal point has been removed and they have to almost improvise in these pushes.
Rafa's going to have to try and take this 1v1, but unfortunately, actually, no. Of course, the 1v1's only going to last so long in Sacrifice. Same coming up behind with the rocket launcher. Nice little ambush, actually. It was almost like Rafa's attention being forced away, allowed Sane to get that unchallenged rocket from behind.
And once again, Emo doing a great job in ensuring chaos and removing Liquid from their comfort zone where they like that organization. Dahang is alone now, so he might be able to get the throwaway, but can his teammates get there to recover it just in time? It looks like they can, as Rafa is able to escape on the slash.
Yeah, it was important he was able to cover some distance, but I mean, the coordinated attack once more, rail coming through on top of a little bit of machine gun fire, and Sane just being that defender, hitting 2 rails on the clutch, going to look for a third if he gets the chance to, but I mean, with so many bodies piling in, your attention can only be on one person for so long. But Rafa, for another time, has the soul in hand, and that rocket jump actually super beneficial. I like that, just wasting a little bit of time, but I don't know if it was enough. Unfortunately not. And the coordination for Mo going, he's thrown the soul, let's try and beat them to the punch, let's bring it back. And just like that, 10 seconds, here comes another power-up.
Will we see Liquid actually having a foothold for these power-ups? It looked like they will this time. Although that's a nice plasma trail, knocking Rafa off as well, but still.
And another quad damage. I mean, just the rate of which Mo has been able to seize control of this power-up has been so heavily against Team Liquid so far, and naturally, if you're able to defend really well as a team, and like you said, they've been disrupting as often as they have, if they're constantly having the power-up and Liquid don't, I mean, that's naturally going to be an advantage. On the flip side, Liquid have been doing a really good job of being able to fight without the power-up. I know, right?
Somehow the Duke go flying in, managed to kill one before going down himself, and Waz is absolutely beasting it here in the back with the quad as it runs out with 3 health, and he's still alive. Liquid now have a good defensive position. This is the hardest point in the game now for Mo. This is where we have to see their coordination come to the fore, and we'll see if they are really living up to the level they've looked so far. And
that's a great moment. This one specific angle in the Obelisk B where you've got, if you've got people that have good rails or they've got good accuracy from this distance, I've got to say, nice shot indeed. But you've got so much distance covered from that middle tunnel where you can rail people before they even get close to the Obelisk.
Yeah, and you can see now Liquid are set up in their preferred positions with Dahang sticking at the back because he is super vulnerable. Popping that shield, but the Berserk again is looking out to counter it, but it's not going to do anything. And Liquid are playing really, really well now they're set up.
And it was more disruption coming out of Dahang. The focus they were able to put on and go, right, let's try and take up this clutch, before they realize they can't do anything about the shield, they turn around, Waz is already there with the gauntlet. I mean, you're not doing anything about that gauntlet at that range.
No, and you can see the defensive positioning of Liquid. As we said, the hang is on the back because that's where he's least vulnerable. But you've got Anarchy on the point, zipping around. That's a strategy epitomized by Latromi. And then you've got Wins and the Doom moving out, or should I say Slash, moving out into the mid-ground of the map to try and clear the rest out with their amazing hit scan as well. So this is just so difficult, and this is why it's called Lockbox. This is where the TDM skills come to the fore, the positioning and the timing, where you can just consolidate that position. So this battle sort has to be won by MO if they want to get back into this game.
Now, of course, the protection going into the hands of Clamp, this could be a real lifeline for one of those large, tankier champions. And the amount of damage you mitigate, so much. A good trade of super nails too, very impressive display, and minimal damage taken. Clamp, this should be a drop-off.
It will be. You've got a Sorlag who is stacked. The only thing you can do is slow him down. There's no way to kill him right now. So the best opportunity is for Liquid trying not to die and regroup as for when that power-up is run out, because until that point, it's almost fruitless to try and push.
Now, you know, loads of these players are saying that the super nail gun feels amazing on land, and you can pretty much see why. You know, it means the chance of you hitting these shots are so much higher. 20 damage per nail. That is a big amount of damage in a short space of time, and against some of these champions, you're unlikely to miss anyway. If you've got protection, it's a lethal combination, really.
It is, but Liquid now look like they've cleared the majority out. Two of them coming through the hallway, getting smashed, and Liquid moving out with all four alive. The hang is very low, but he's just going to be in the back line, doing a little bit of damage here and there.
Liquid, they really sunk their heels in when they had that last capture. I mean, they got a huge amount of percentage on the board that was really not returned by MO.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a fantastic sequence.
Good
doubles.
calls coming out from MO there, realizing the path that Liquid were taking and cutting them off.
They've dropped it. They did take a lot of damage actually trying to get it through. I mean, you can actually look at Clamp, for example. He's not really healthy enough to take a fight.
But this is okay. Liquid aren't too fussed at this point in time. This is a good use of this shield. This is where we've actually, the first time we've really seen it in action. He's going to try and get the throw, but doesn't get it in time.
Yeah, wasn't able to get very far, but there's plenty of teammates behind him. And that's one thing that these coordinated teams at this level of play will have. One person goes down with the soul, but there's probably going to be a couple of other, if not at least one other person on your team with you. So when the soul goes down, go for an immediate pickup. Coordinate, guys, I'm probably going to die. Be ready to collect when I go down.
Yep, and it's the best teams have those best throwing tactics and have their positions set. And the calls are critical as the quad comes back up. And this time, Liquid get it very cleanly. The first one of the game.
Yeah, it looked like, but unfortunately, with it going to Waz, yeah, of course, there's the tactical suicide. I was just about to bring attention to that, where when you're almost dead, it's very common that you'll see teammates deliberately kill themselves just so a teammate can collect it, you know, a more healthier one. But they weren't able to get a huge amount. I actually, they won the shotgun 1 versus 1 in that situation, and their reward will be pretty significant. Unfortunately, it's going to be Yenem. Yeah, Sane had to collect there. When you get the quad damage and you're almost dead, you may as well not have it in some cases if you can't even get a shot off. Sane, he'll try and get at least one more frag with this. Even though he lands a shot, of course, you know, live by the spread, die by the spread. A quad damage super shotgun only doing 24 damage from that range is kind of unfortunate.
And MO have managed to claw their way back almost to an even game. So it all comes down to who can get that Nats clean cap, and it looks like Liquid are going to get at least 10% off of this one.
And Waz with that rail. He's already hit one really nice shot just then, but he's going to have to do a few more, especially with the amount of heads that are piling in. But Waz, or Wins, up behind. They weren't able to get much percentage. Very important for Modus. You know, they're starting to claw their way back in, but they've not quite tied things off. The best thing you can do is try and prevent percentage from climbing as fast as possible, you know. At
this stage of the game, that's all you have to do. It's all about bodies on the point now, because Liquid have a good position with only like 5% left now.
Unfortunately, with that clutch shield,
it is up as well.
I feel like this could be a wrap. You know, the second they close in the space, even if they get close enough, which I think is unlikely because they're being kept so much at bay, they didn't even need to use to hang for that last-minute defense. Now, Team Liquid, they were definitely made to sweat there. You know, both of those rounds, MO were able to take a significant amount of percentage, but ultimately Liquid, as we kind of expected, they were able to just hold it together a lot more. And when they were able to sink their heels into a point, it looked kind of hard for them to challenge, particularly when Tahang was able to actually get online and MO weren't able to consistently keep clutch on the back foot.
And that's when we saw the class of Liquid come to the fore, when it was that good, like 60-70% at the start of the second round. They were able to, as you said, sink their heels in, get their position set, and when that happens, you have to have something really special up your sleeve to dislodge that, and MO just didn't have that in time. When the power-up came up, Liquid had to move out, and MO took their opportunity magically, but by that point, they'd already lost way too much ground. They did re-claw it, but it just wasn't enough, and the surprising thing for me was how close that got, because, and they showed an extremely good and adept tactic against the clutch. So I think that was, again, experience of them practicing in Liquid. They were hunting him down outside of his shield, as well as having the Doom and the Slash into using their abilities very effectively when the shield was popped to make sure he was taking continuous damage behind that shield wall. So it was very interesting to watch.
I think at the same time as well, it almost goes to show that the power-up in a lot of cases is not kind of like the be-all, end-all of Sacrifice, because MO's control over the power-up and how often they had it over Team Liquid was pretty substantial. You know, there were many cases where Liquid, they rarely collected it first, and even if they were able to collect it after a frag, they weren't able to get a huge amount with it in a lot of those cases. So it goes to show that Team Liquid, you know, that the way they were able to defend confidently, knowing that they're going to be dealing with not only MO as a 4-man unit, but one of these guys is going to have quad damage or protection. And actually a very pivotal moment where they were able to make the impressive comeback in that first round where MO looked so ridiculously dominant. At the last minute, it was a free pickup on the quad. There was nobody at Team Liquid there to fight for it because they were all on the obelisk. They only needed a little bit of percentage left to go. They must have made the call to go, look guys, let's give up the quad. They had to hang shield available. So clearly it must have been, look, I'll go in, I'll soak up the quad, I'll disrupt. We can fight this even though they have this massive ace in the hole. And they did just that. It was a lot of confidence, but the teamwork required to deal with an aggressive quad user when it is that close to ending the round. It's a brave decision, but it was a good decision.
It was, and as you say, Liquid, the fact that Liquid won 2-0 and it wasn't that comfortable, but they were just looking extremely rusty, shows the level that they can get to. And they're going to need to pick it up, definitely. If they want any chance of winning this tournament, they're going to have all those timings nailed. They're going to have their organization nailed. You cannot let a team like 2Z, if they get to the final, get away with stealing virtually every single power-up. That was very surprising that Liquid is one of the teams that are well known for their composure and organization. It was the biggest thing lacking for me in that.
Well, I mean, when you play earlier in the day, of course, these guys, they're definitely not like, I suppose, rusty, of course, because they've been playing all weekend. But if you're going to have those moments where you're not playing perfect, you know, if you get into a grand finals, for example, it demands perfection. Otherwise, you know, you very well might not be the best team of the day. But Team Liquid, if they're going to have these slightly off moments, I suppose, if we can get it in the first map, that's probably going to be the best chance for them. But of course, MO, we've seen North America do some really magical things on this map. They just look really strong, they look really solid, and it's picked consistently among this region, even during the qualifiers. We saw this map a lot. We actually saw Tempest Shrine picked a lot back then too. But I feel like a big thing as well was the composition change. Liquid tend to run the Scale Bearer on this map instead.
So excited to see Scale Bearer.
This does naturally allow them to control power-up and other items more dominantly, because, you know, it's sometimes you've got Rafa on deck to hang, will switch up with the champion. Sometimes he'll now go Slash on a map like this. And I feel like we've said this before, but that's quite a testament to Team Liquid as well, in how they don't go, I'm the Slash player, you're the Anarchy player, vice, you know, etc., etc. They go, right, there's a role we're going to play, this champion gets the job done, and they mix and match, but are just as effective on those champions as one another.
Sure, and that's one of the great facets of having an extremely versatile team. So it's a massive benefit to have on your arsenal for sure.
Now we're going to be going into map 2, Blood Covenant. We have Team Liquid, Modus Operandi. Now Modus Operandi looks strong, you know, so you can't count them out. Absolutely, I know, you know, the viewer fan vote was heavily in Team Liquid's favor for good reason. These guys are our latest champions. However, Modus Operandi, this could be their lifeline.
It could be, and this is a map that's particularly difficult to formalize a strong defensive position, and that will work in MO's favor 100%.
However, 2 frags, 3 frags going to Team Liquid. There should be a soul drop for them. Yeah, there's no one there to challenge. Waz was going to be able to get that drop. Yenem tries to do what he can, but the thing about an early soul drop means that if you're able to get a bit of control early on, we have 8 seconds until the power-up is going to spawn. And before that spawns, Rafa, he's going to have his bull rush. Does he activate it? Here we go. And
there it is. Didn't do anything, but it's a lovely sight to see.
It's the thought that counts. And we're going to see that a lot more. You know, I'd be surprised if we didn't see a bull rush every single time, but there's the tactical suicide, allowing Rafa to collect this quad. And yep, he's just going to, the second he hears that jump out, he's like, let's wait a couple of seconds. That is guaranteed.
Perfect throw. Look at that communication. Rafa making everybody increasingly aware of where he's waiting. Didn't need to poke his head out and have an unnecessary damage. It's going to be difficult to stop the bull man. Oh, poor throw.
He goes for the throw. I wonder if he's going to... Yeah, he's probably not going to use the bull rush for this. I don't think he's going to be more satisfied with his ability to get the super shotgun damage. Save the bull rush for later, I suppose, which is always going to be really useful because, of course, those that may not know, Scale Bearer, reduce damage when his bull rush is activated. So on a game mode like this, where damage is constant and high, if he's able to reduce that while moving fast and getting frags, which we might see here. Big damage done. Sane forced to suicide. I mean, that basically was a frag for Scalebearer right there. I mean, he caused it, right? He was the cause.
I will give it to him just because I'm very happy to see him being picked anyway. And but the Liquid are doing an amazing job of defending this point, as they still haven't been able to steal it away, Emo, and be cleared up completely on this, which is traditionally quite a vulnerable area as well. So
for sure. I mean, there are plenty of angles you can cover collectively as a team, but of course, you know, even like the angle like rail, for example, if you're able to collect the rail, you've got such a line of sight at the distance, like right there, you know, you've got all angles covered near the obelisk itself. So Liquid, they're going to be aware of that and going to be trying to sort of control a little bit further out than just the obelisk location, but beautiful plasma trail from DreamHack, and his plasma trails and sacrifice really are magical.
Yeah, and it's one of the strengths of attacking on this map. It's difficult to get the railer because if you have all those angles and you say a lot of secure positions, if you can get up to that high ground. But Liquid doing a very good job of just making sure that they do secure the point, using the abilities very effectively. And MO is letting this drip away.
Here we go.
Retreating to the power-up.
Rafa has his bull rush. Wonder if he's going to be within distance for it. However, power-up spawning unfortunately goes down. Griffin gets two very crucial frags, but as you can see right there, he was super weak after that exchange, so only one nail was going to do it. Modus have the protection, but I wonder. I mean, the defense for Liquid has been so on point. I'm wondering if the protection will make much of a difference.
And as you can see with the protection, Slash is very weak. He's just now got some health, and it's all a little too late as it's just about to run out as well.
Has allowed them to run through. I feel like this could be a drop-off. Doesn't look like there's anyone on Liquid's side to stop him. And of course, with Sane backing him up, there's the drop. But with so many members of Liquid piling in, the percentage isn't likely to climb heavily unless they can get a really good lock-in here. But they've got a lot of work to do. Look at that, 77% from Liquid. They don't have a lot of work to do if they drop it off one more time. That's a matter of a minute, maybe not even that.
No, but MO have now secured the point. They should be able to get it up to 30–40% at least. Liquid regrouping, see, not pushing in one by one, taking two different channels as well to split the focus of MO. Rafa's traps as well. They seem to have secured the base at least for one round of attack.
They've got a little bit of a lock in here. Wins, I mean, he's going to be a little bit disruptive, but at the end of the day, he's only got 20 HP, so he's going to last only so long.
But he does get the throwaway, which is the most important thing, irrespective of that.
And we saw the bull rush come through, but the answer, Griffin actually got hit by the bull rush, knocked up, but using that situation to go, well, let's try and land a rocket anyway, was able to sort of win that exchange. And here we go, the reverse of momentum. Modus Operandi, they are taking it to Team Liquid right now.
They are, and this is a good point to defend if you can get it secure, because you have that nice high ground and only two real channels to get in there. You can just keep very safe, and if you see them swooping underneath you, you can drop in one by one to secure it. So MO having a very good chance now to get back into this and at least tie it up.
And they're managing their abilities really well, of course. Yenim having his plasma trail available, so he can cause a bit of disruption here. As you can see, DreamHack had other ideas, and there's the first we see. Rafa cleaning house with the bull rush. And of course, once you get quad, that bull rush becomes a quad damage quad. And there we go. I actually really like the idea to go, I've done my job here, I was able to secure power up. It's way better off we just allow someone like Wins to take it, but even then, getting some really nice shots here. Make that 3 in a row.
Really nice. One of the elite level tactics we haven't seen a lot of right now is spawn manipulation. So you can, one of the things 2Z do particularly well on their attacking is one of the reasons why they're often known as the fastest team in the game, is that they drag their opponents away from the base and make them, when they kill them, that means they make them spawn further away because the spawn system acts in a buddy system. But it's something that separates the really, really elite level teams from everyone else, but neither team have been able to do that effectively just because of the chaos that's ensued on these base attacks, where it is just utter chaos and rushing in because everybody's in desperation mode.
Well, the action is constant and fast, and at this level, I mean, you know, Modus, this is one of those situations where this is almost like a last stand situation for this round. Where it's now or never, really, because Team Liquid with 6% left, with how well they've been able to defend previously, at the end of the day, if they get that drop off, the 6% is extremely likely. However, as these frags are starting to pile up, Rafa's going to try and clean house. They're going to have to win this 2 versus 2, and it looks like they're being able to do it.
Oh, see you later.
Oh dear, he gets sent off the map. That's fantastic for Modus, but 1% left. This is the time, no more games.
99, 76, if they get it back, which they can't.
DreamHack, he's hit by the acid, but I don't think it matters too much. They trade it 1 for 1. Rafa has the soul available. This is super close. Wins gets body blocked by Griffin. It's not over just yet.
Not sure.
Oh.
They managed to get it back. Here we go.
Look at that, the power up.
10 seconds until protection. Whoever gets this could be in a very good position to actually win the game.
Yeah, I seriously feel like if Liquid get this protection, that they're going to win. Because if it goes in the hands of someone who's really healthy, that's why they're piling in. They need to win this fight. It's going to be in the favor of DreamHack.
But they have to get there quickly. It is ticking up very fast. DreamHack is too weak. He has to retreat to the health bubbles.
But I mean, I'm worried. He's having to detour to get the health, but the percentage is still climbing. I don't know if he has that time to waste.
Someone needs to get on the point.
He has to.
98, just in time.
And there's the plasma trail. He's going to get the cap here. And he is nice and healthy. The rocket jump to get out of trouble. And the mega. This might be guaranteed.
Oh, what a stroke of luck as DreamHack is able to whiz back to base. Still with some decent timing left on that power-up just to get it in, at least.
Is that going to be enough? He's taking big damage. It has run out, but it's enough time to get the gauntlet kill. That every single decision that DreamHack made at the last minute there was the entire cause of that comeback. It was, look, I know they've got it, but we have the time. He's doing the maths. He knows realistically how many seconds it will take for him to detour and get the extra health bubbles. Go and take it. On the way back, Mega's going to be available. Even at the last minute, let's get the heavy, because my protection's going to run out. The heavy armor is going to allow me to get one more frag.
I think the biggest thing for me was faith in his team. With such little time left on the clock, a majority of other players would have panicked and gone straight in and might have lost the protection, but